not get knocked. That Scouser does not get knocked out.
Hold on.
My God. Scousers do not get knocked. That Scouser does not get knocked out.
I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out. We don't get knocked out. I take that all day. Hold on.
My God. What a fucking gangster.
Main event capped off with a war. Just give us your thoughts on Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett delivering a 5-round battle.
Yeah, I mean, what a couple. So Paddy Pimblett at the weigh-in yesterday says, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out tomorrow. And I was like, that's interesting. And he never abandoned that game plan. Even when, he got dropped a couple times, I kept waiting for him. I'm like, he's eventually going to have to shoot and try to submit him. Now, I didn't know Paddy Pimblett had a chin like that till tonight. And, yeah, absolute dogfight in a war, and much respect to both guys.
We haven't seen Justin yet, so we don't know what his status is physically. But, I mean, is the interim, is the unification fight have to be next? Or is there a case if he's hurt and needs to be out for a while?
Apparently he's 100%. So we sent Paddy Pimblett straight to the hospital, and then we're going to send Gaethje too. And Gaethje's like, believe me, I've been in plenty of wars. I'm good. So as far as we know right now, he's out.
It could even beat the German guy in a weight contest.
The showdown between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje is wrapped up, and fight fans everywhere are breaking down what actually went down versus what everyone predicted. Some analysts figured Paddy's explosive style would set the pace, while others believe Justin's surgical striking and mental toughness would give him the advantage. Let's dive into what the experts said and see how their predictions stacked up by examining everything that led to this moment before these two ever stepped into the octagon.
On the highlight, Justin Gaethje.
From his perspective, Justin was someone who damaged opponents both fast and consistently. Those calf kicks weren't just techniques he threw out there. They completely changed how his opponents moved and positioned themselves. Once those legs got compromised, Justin's hands became way more dangerous.
Early on, he'd calf kick the fuck out of people. He'd calf kick people where they couldn't take it anymore. He had many TKOs from calf kicks alone. The guy is just a dense fucking ball of muscle, built for fighting, pulled people with his right hand. Paddy Pimblett is going to have to be very careful throwing his flurries on Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje will sit down and rip a left hook, or sit down, drop his head, and launch a right hand. That's Justin Gaethje's ways to win. He could KO.
According to Tim, Paddy's biggest vulnerability showed up during his own attacks. When Paddy charged forward, throwing strikes and pressed hard, Tim saw those moments as leaving his chin exposed. Justin typically didn't need a ton of chances. He'd usually wait, set his stance, and counter with bad intentions. Tim felt that if Justin caught Paddy during one of those wild rushes,
Justin Gaethje with the title around his waist,
6 wins, 5 losses, 20 knockouts, that guy straight up sleeps people.
It's hard. If someone gave me $10,000 to bet with, and they said, hey, put it on who you think's going to win, I'm going to say 60-40. 60-40. 40% chance that Justin Gaethje knocks Paddy Pimblett out. Hits him on his chin. When Paddy Pimblett's flurrying, hits him right on his hits him right on the scouser chin. Bunk. Gets dropped. 40% chance, I think. 60% chance this fight, Justin's not able to find him. It's a little bit, it's like a spastic, weird style. He's not able to find his chin. If Paddy Pimblett puts him on his back, it's going to be a long night for Justin.
As the fight progressed, Tim started leaning slightly toward Paddy, thinking about how the battle might unfold. When fights went into deep waters, they usually got messy, and messy situations favored Paddy. Tim thought if Justin found himself on his back late in the fight, while completely drained even then, Tim didn't see it as a guaranteed victory. He called it a razor-close fight where one clean shot could flip everything. Still, he generally believed Paddy would pull out the win more times than Justin would.
Will you be served? With Pimblett? Maybe.
Justin Gaethje's gone to war with all these absolute monsters throughout his entire career. Edson Barboza, Donald Cerrone, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Khabib Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira Khabib, again, Dustin Poirier, another time Max Holloway. Man, he's battled the absolute elite, so I really want Justin Gaethje to get this victory.
He's got a use of a smaller guy. We've seen it, where
you must box, you must use your legs, you must...
He's got the capability of doing that. Outmaneuver, outflank. Pimblett, let me tell you, he has the last 2 years. He really has, bud. He has gotten better. He's own. Confidence-wise, he's improved. His striking has improved. But he loves this fight really interesting and good. They're both going to strike. I mean, for the most part, they're both going to strike.
When Teddy Atlas broke down Justin, his focus was less about aggression and more about control. He believed Justin needed to fight intelligently by staying mobile, using his boxing and creating angles rather than just standing in front of Paddy. Teddy also emphasized how much Paddy had evolved over the past few years. He felt Paddy looked more durable, more composed, and confident in who he was as a fighter. His striking had improved, but Teddy noticed Paddy still decided to stand and bang when it wasn't necessary.
It might be served here, but I would go with the over on this because I think the over-under is like
2.5 rounds.
How many?
2.5 rounds over minus 115.
All right, listen. Again, we have a pretty good record here, but you know, I mess up once in a while. I do. That's why it's gambling. But I like the over. I like the over. I mean, if Gaethje fights the perfect fight, you never know. You never know. But I know who the judges are probably favoring. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry. There shouldn't be anything about that. It should just be about what goes on in the cage or in the ring. But I can't help myself but think about things that I see. So maybe, you know, Gaethje would really have to do a job, I think, to get it, which he could. But I think I probably favor Pimblett a little bit, but at the end of the day, if I had to put my bucks down.
That's a dangerous striker right there.
Because if he can eat it, I can see Paddy catching Gaethje and maybe almost like a Oliveira fight, you know, catch Gaethje, hurt Gaethje wobble, and then, you know, get to Gaethje's back or something, maybe sub him. You know what I mean? Like, Paddy is very well rounded. You know, he out wrestled wrestlers, he out grappled grapplers. He stands with you. You know, he doesn't care. He throws. You know, everybody be like, his chin is in the air. He takes shots. Yeah, he takes shots and he still walks forward. How long will that last? We don't know. And that's the question I have to this fight. Or what his reaction is going to be when Justin Gaethje catches him. Because Justin Gaethje punches like a truck. He kicks like a freaking donkey.
A slight edge to Paddy because youth and momentum usually show up late in fights. He wasn't sleeping on Justin at all, knowing there was danger every second, but since Paddy had more ways to adapt during the fight, he expected it to go long with Paddy taking it without ever feeling secure.
It's a flip up, bro. I'm not surprised if any of these guys win, because I can see 2 clear paths to these guys winning. I can see Gaethje catching Paddy, you know, putting him down, finishing him. Then I can see Pimblett catching Paddy, Pimblett catching Gaethje, maybe knock him out or hurt him enough to where he can get a submission. You know, I think so. Paramount, the UFC did a really great great job of putting this first Paramount card together. From the main card, the first main card fight, to the main event is sick. It's gonna be action packed, and you fans are gonna love it. You know, the new fans are gonna love it. I mean, Gaethje is just violence. Paddy Pimblett doesn't run away from violence. It's gonna be a fun fight. Like I said, I don't know who to choose. I'm not choosing no one. I see both guys. I think this is a coin flip. I think whoever can endure the more damage is gonna win this one.
The feeling was that if Paddy could walk through Justin's shots without breaking the fight, could shift quickly. He thought Paddy had the ability to hurt Justin in exchanges, then turn that moment into complete control, whether by taking the back or starting a scramble. At the same time, he believed Justin only needed one clean opening because his power changed fights instantly. He described Justin as someone who inflicted real damage, and once those shots landed clean, the fight might end before Paddy found his rhythm.
Paddy Pimblett become more comfortable inside the octagon. So the key between one for Paddy Pimblett is to be dynamic, meaning that if Justin Gaethje puts you against the cage, don't be scared to do a flying triangle. If Justin Gaethje tries to go for a dump, go for a Kimura, because 9 out of 10 times when he does that, he's able to turn it into something that favors him in the fight. Key difference number 2, grapple, grapple, grapple. You know, when you look at Justin Gaethje's past fight, when people grapple him that have a good grappling ability, he seems to have hard times with grapplers, where people, you know, when people drop him, Charles Oliveira dropped him, he crossed the void, jumped on him, got his back, cemented him with a rear naked choke. You look when he fought Habib took him down, passed his guard, mounted him, got a triangle from top and rolled to his back. Now I feel like Paddy Pimblett has that grappling ability that can oppose some problems to Justin Gaethje, but
the competitive, it came down to who could implement their game plan better. Not just skill, and that unpredictability was what made this fight must-watch television. From his view, they spent a lot of time on what Paddy needed to do right. He thought Paddy had to stay unpredictable and keep forcing grappling exchanges. He saw that when Justin got desperate, he usually ended up slightly off balance, and that's when submissions appeared. But having said that, let me break down the key elements for both these guys. When you look at Paddy Pimblett, the essential qualities of peak Paddy Pimblett are that he absolutely has to stay active. The experience gap between these fighters existed, but he didn't view it as a fight-ending factor. Demetrius believed Paddy's victory still demonstrated real skills, especially his dominance, once fights hit the mat. He was confident Paddy's grappling was legit regardless of opponent level, and timing mattered more than fame. Demetrius was drawn to Paddy because of his overall freshness and hunger. He thought Paddy's lighter schedule allowed his body to recover, letting him return sharper each time. Creative grapplers cause problems for strikers who prefer to stand. Volk approached this matchup with a very analytical mindset, seeing it as a real test of improvement rather than just hype. He expressed his growing confidence in Paddy after watching his much smarter recent performances. What stood out was Volk not calling this an easy fight whatsoever, given the pure difficulty of surviving Justin for 25 minutes. Even though he felt Paddy had the tools to stay safe early, ultimately Volk picked Paddy, respecting how Paddy had previously silenced critics and shown the ability to stick to game plans, while still recognizing that success depended on Paddy maintaining that discipline once fatigue pressure and Justin's late round surges started hitting, making his pick feel cautious rather than confident. Dan Hardy favored Justin because he viewed the grappling threat very realistically and didn't see it as either new or shocking. He pointed out how Paddy's submissions came from basic positions and common chokes, meaning Justin had seen all this before and spent years preparing for exactly these situations. In his mind, this wasn't Justin getting surprised by something unexpected, since his entire career had already required him to constantly drill defense against these exact attacks. He also broke down the fight from a mental standpoint and felt Justin always chose approaches that drained opponents rather than himself. He felt Justin learned early that grinding through tough rounds wore people down who then had to deal with his power. Dan called this a long journey where Justin relied on his hands over technique because despite his punches looking rough, the damage was obvious. Bilal Muhammad's pick went to Justin based on how the fight looked while standing. He thought about how often Paddy got hit in previous fights and saw this as a huge problem against someone who stayed calm, waited for opportunities, and struck with technical precision. He highlighted Justin's jab, his footwork, and his leg kicks, seeing them as weapons that could systematically break down Paddy over time without Justin needing to rush or expose himself. He also mentioned that Paddy's best chance was on the ground, but he didn't think Paddy could consistently get there. Bilal saw Paddy needing chaos scrambles and early takedowns. Since extended striking exchanges played into Justin's strengths, he noted Justin had handled pressure fighters before, and by staying patient like in previous fights, the matchup became really tough for Paddy. Those were the predictions from the experts, and everyone brought their own perspective on how it would all play out. But now that the dust has settled, what's your take? Did your guy come out on top, or did things unfold completely differently than you expected? Drop your thoughts and reactions below.